So, hi everyone, my name is Moritz, I'm CMO of Veganz. I'm very happy to be here today to speak a little bit about our achievements and fails at the company. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about us so you have a better background idea of who we are and what's going on. Climate change, it's not the topic I have to explain to you here. It's very dramatic, it's flying above our heads today. But what's interesting about us is that if you look, the last 10 years, people changed their nutritional habits because they understood that 33% of global carbon emissions, they come from food production, especially animal food production. So we eat 3 times a day. Every time you have the chance to reduce your carbon footprint just by different dietary choice. And it didn't mean that there was a raise in vegans or vegetarians over the last 10 years, but mainly flexitarians. So people will say, yeah, I still eat meat and I eat cheese and I drink milk, but less often, and I buy plant-based alternatives. And there are a lot of people who say, potentially, in the future, I will switch. So we believe the main nutrition in Europe in the next years will be flexitarianism. So what does that mean for us? Well, what we want is to be more and more people aware about that fact and to give everyone the opportunity to have that dietary choice and to make an impact every day with a choice of food. So everyone can contribute to a more sustainable planet. But that's not everything, because what we believe is that the food industry fundamentally has to change, because veganism is great. There are a lot of vegan brands already out there doing good things. But that's not all of it. The food industry is very complex, from sourcing of the raw materials to farming, production, packaging, the deliveries to the consumers. And that's why we always look at all the processes and try to understand where can we push sustainability, where can we bring new innovations, where can we do social change. So that's why we work with CleanHub as a partner to prevent ocean plastics. That's why we bring transparency to the consumers with sea trays so that people can see directly where our raw materials are coming from. That's why we implemented life cycle assessments for all our 120 products on 3 scores: carbon footprinting, water footprinting, animal welfare, and rainforest impact. More about that in a minute. Since this year, we are also B Corp certified. I'm very happy about that because it's a huge achievement for us, because it's a critical view on what we're actually doing. And we are founding members for Together for Carbon Labeling. So whoever's interested in the food industry to learn about the standard for carbon footprint labeling, contact me. I can tell you more. So we achieved all these things and we tried to push sustainability, but it came with a lot of costs and fails involved. The first case I want to present to you today is actually our bankruptcy. So when I started to work at Veganz 2018, this was actually in the community, in the heads that Veganz doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because we did a lot of PR mistakes, and what actually we were doing, we were closing down most of our retail stores and vegan supermarkets to focus on producing a very strong vegan brand, because we believe we can do more with that. But unfortunately, the press mistake the message, and we were bankrupt in the public. And we tried to fix it with asking for corrections, but there was no way, the damage was already done. But it gave us a possibility to step a little bit outside of the public and think about how we really can make things better. So you have to think, back in 2018, in the food industry, no one was really interested about sustainability. And we wanted very clearly to understand how much carbon is emitted from all of our products, how much water is used, how's the animal welfare, how's the rainforest impacted. We found a partner, Eternity, who are an expert on making the calculations and life cycle assessments from the sourcing of the raw materials, transportation, packaging, it's everything included. But it was very, very difficult to find the suppliers who want to speak to us, who are open to give that information, who have their suppliers to give the information to do this kind of process. And at the same time, inside of the company, there was a lot of criticism. There were people saying, yeah, but what if we have this label on our products and we have one score, which means it's bad for the environment, and all the other products around us, they don't have that. No one will buy our product. What are we going to do? And that's not scientifically proven. We can't do this. There were a lot of discussions going on. And we had to do a lot of discussions to solve that, to move that forward. And luckily, also our founder was committed to do that thing and make the changes. And what we did is we pushed through and we made the life cycle assessment a reality. And we became an expert on the food industry, and we used that expertise to communicate about the strengths and weaknesses of the industry. We made research about veganism and flexitarianism. Back then it was very new. Now you can find it around every corner. And we got a lot of positive feedback back publicly. The PR was working again, and we were very happy to solve that issue. But then we were thinking, okay, how can we reach more people? Because we want to make an impact. We want more people to try the products. So we were a small startup back then. And we said, okay, let's make a big campaign. So we had a TV campaign. No one of us knew anything about that. It was our first TV campaign. It was integrated across all channels. We did digital. We did work with influencers. We had trade marketing. And we had the TV spot saying, in German, it's für eine Welt, die allen schmeckt. So for a world that tastes everyone. And we had a choir of people who were singing a song with their tongue. And we filmed that very close up to be something funny. It went like, la 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 la. And I'm not good at singing, sorry. And they called some symbols relevant to nature and life. So yeah, we pushed that campaign, and then it happened that we took a lot of public criticism again from influencers who were saying, but who did that spot? What did the people in the marketing department smoke? What did they do? How they can spend money on this? This is impossible. And what's wrong with these people? And it went on and on everywhere we looked. We had critiques. We had even up to the investors. So the CEO came to the office and he said, I have investors telling me, what are you doing with my money? With that spot, this is impossible. People were saying, the people in marketing, they will lose their job. I was a Veganz fan, but now I threw away all my products because I can't stand this. So huge critique. So what we were doing, we were actually back then already very data-driven. And we had a social listening in place, and there we could see very positive feedback on the campaign overall, good numbers, very factual. It was clear that there were some very noisy critics, but mainly it was positive feedback, and the same thing was going on the sales, so the campaign was working. We got lucky, but with the critiques we answered in funny ways, so to lighten a little bit the mood. And the circuit is one that is very shocking, actually. For me, it was shocking because I didn't believe that the thing could happen. So it was the time of the Pride Month, and we changed our logo and the colors. And we said, okay, it's a good idea. Community will support it. 5 minutes before 6 o'clock, my social media manager called me and said, we have a problem here. The people on Facebook, they are going crazy. We have a lot of racist comments. We have hate speech against our brand. And it was very, very intense, and I couldn't believe it. Luckily, inside our community, there were a lot of people fighting against it. So the community had an argument. And there was 1 or 2 comments that were very bad, so we had to delete them according to our guidelines. And but it was really, I could never believe that inside the vegan community, these kinds of sentiments, they could exist. And we were thinking, okay, what can we do better next time? Because, just to color the logo, it's not a kind of activity, and it's too little, especially for a company like ours. So we were saying, let's give the people a voice. And this is what we did in the following year. So we gave to famous queer people our channel, and to speak about how is actually the life, what are the problems, how it is when you grow up, you discover your sexuality, and it was way better feedback. It was more positive. We could also learn some things, and I'm very, very happy we did that. And I gladly give our reach as a brand to be a voice for other people, to make it more loud and reach them with messaging. So what does it mean for us? Well, if you have an opinion, there is always counter opinion. And you have to live with that. At the same time, we understood that this is what also characterizes us as a brand. So if you go to the supermarket and maybe you had a fight with a colleague, you will buy a brand that is for you more secure, brings you some balance, because it's what you want subconsciously. If you filled out a boring Excel sheet, then you will buy Veganz because you need some excitement and adventure. And this is what we stand for, and this is what we try to strengthen as a brand. And we continue to innovate the vegan industry. We did an IPO, the first vegan IPO in Germany some years back, so the bankruptcy is forgotten, thank God. And we are bringing new products and always trying to push sustainability further. And the latest product was just mentioned. We are printing milk, because the problem with oat milk, for instance, is that 90% inside 1 liter is water. It's carried around, and transportation is a huge carbon emission. You have a lot of packaging, and you can have 10 liters milk alternative delivered in a letter form to your home. You have this sheet, you put it in the blender, 30 seconds, you blend it, you have high quality barista alternative. It's very good. And if you want to try it, go to milk.com, code happy, you have 20%. You're happy to, if you try it out. Yeah, thank you very much so far. I want you to ask some questions. Thanks.